Welcome back, everybody, to the Summit 2 by G2A.com. We've got Game 2 of Vici Gaming versus LGD. Vici Gaming fairly convincingly take game number 1 on the back of a black slack and just some overall solid play coming from the rest of the Vici Gaming squad. Got Game 2 coming up, LGD Gaming playing on the Radiant side this time around, and once again I'll be joined by Blitz. How are we feeling, Blitz?
What's up, what's up?
Not too much.
Hanging out.
Hanging out.
Watching
Good.
some Dodo with you.
Trying to pick up some strats for your game later tonight?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, saw a lot of what LGD did. Just gonna apply that to the old Zephyr mentality.
Yep.
How did they deal with this loss and not break up?
Yeah, just add the LGD players, like, so what do you guys do when you
to
lose?
get past this? Like, did you guys watch a movie together or something? Like, what happened after? What are we doing that's wrong?
You can trade notes about like coping with defeat and all that.
You guys got outpicked.
Yep.
That happens.
Well, Vici Gaming, we'll see if they can do it once more. LG Gaming looked really good yesterday, so like let's be fair to them, Blitz. Like, they're not quite on your guys' level just yet, but
yeah, it'll take a lot. They have to lose like 12 more games to get to our level.
Look, I think we're being too hard. Look, you guys are the best team in Korea that has like at least one Australian and one Singaporean and like one American player. Like, you're the best team there under that criteria. So
we're the best team in Korea that currently has Purge as our manager. Like,
yes.
That's the category that pretty much nobody will contest us in.
Hey.
Unless Purge is like managing Rave or some shit that I don't know about that, then maybe we'll be second.
What Purge doesn't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, at least we can laugh at it, man, right? The jokes write themselves.
I know. We'll talk about this in the pregame. Like, it's just too easy. The content's just there for us.
Yeah, it's like how far do you really have to go out of your way, man? It's much harder to support us. Like, the people that support us, those are the real fans, you know?
You can't even joke or make fun of them. Like, that's just cruel.
Yeah,
but...
go you guys.
Oh man. There are people out there buying your Zephyr. I use your Zephyr earbuds. I'm one of those people, apparently.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's some good earbuds.
You, man.
Yeah.
You know what? You could find like 50 other people that own that, and you guys can start a little club.
Well, I got mine for free, so I'm not. I kind of cheated on that one, but
it's okay, man.
I still support you guys.
And I got a BTS hoodie for free, so
yeah,
good trade.
That's a good trade, and the BTS is going down the drain as well.
Pretty much.
Yep. Well,
you guys are the best casting studio that currently features 2 Davids at once.
Yeah. Hey, we've got some other. We had Triumph casting the other day. There's more than 2 Davids now.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, we're bringing back more Davids, but I think we realized that everything went down the drain when Lumi left.
Pretty much.
Well, we're going to see LGD one. Oh, they're going to actually take the Invoker this time around. So Invoker making another appearance here. And Brewmaster, well, I'm just surprised Brewmaster wasn't first picked. This here is pretty legit.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with him is that the cast animation thing with the Primal Split really affected him. It means that against a team with any sort of instant silence or disable, you can pretty much get it. Like, you have to just Primal Split immediately. Like, you can't clap and split anymore like you used to. And that's a lot of your damage gone down the drain.
Yep. Okay. Well, we'll see what the plan's going to be here. One of the heroes, I think it was Bulb who's talked about it, Witch Doctor, really good against the Brewmaster because of the cast, which bounce around the bears. But maybe just a small thing that LGD could consider as far as dealing with it. But for now, Invoker, Ogre, Medusa gets banned out. Silo played quite a few games of Medusa. I think it was back in the NEST tournament where LGD actually beat Newbie and had a pretty good run there, making it into the finals. But no Medusa today. LGD themselves banned the like, and I guess worried that Vici Gaming would first pick it. I haven't seen any of Vici Gaming have not played tournaments in a long time, so LGD probably know a lot better about what they're picking in scrims and such, and it seems the Chinese teams are once more really prioritizing Lycan as a first pick hero.
Yeah, I think especially EG's the team that's been continuing to use it regardless of the situation.
Yeah.
And it just, I mean, the hero itself, the only thing that was really changed about it was the ultimate. And in some ways, that ultimate makes him a lot stronger the later the game goes. Because it makes
Yes.
Force Staffs essentially useless. Like, you can pretty much chase down any supports. The scouting intel that you gain from the Wolves pretty much forces you to get a gem or place mass sentries. And that really gimps your supports if they have to buy a ton of sentries just to make sure that Wolves aren't following them around. The threat of Roshan is always possible. So Lycan overall as a hero is still fantastic. I still think Brewmaster, like you said, is a really good hero. Skyrat did quite well against it because with the Primal Split nerf, you could almost always get the Ancient Seal off, like in the mid animation, that almost full second that it takes now to get the Primal Split off.
If you, like, pre-BKB, if you go blinking in, like, you just have to blink ulti. You can't go for that clap. That greedy clap just, you get punished for. But, we'll see what the plan's going to be. They ban up Black Slack here, so that's probably well warranted after game 1. And, I mean, you kind of talked a lot about how this hero is just so good at snowballing and, I mean, can become a bit of a pub stompy hero if you don't have the counters for him. Which, I mean, for LGD, these two picks not really ideal for... I mean, what is an ideal hero for dealing with Slack?
Any sort of AoE, like that, you can just kind of click and point towards that black fog of death. You ever watch Lost? You know that like giant smoke monster thing that follows them around the island? That you can't
I don't
attack?
think I watched it that far. I watched like the first season or two, and then I watched like the last 5 episodes because it was the last 5 episodes.
Well, there's like a black giant fog monster thing that you can't see that just kills you, and that's pretty much what Slark is. And the only way you're going to deal with that is with some sort of click and point AoE or some sort of an instant initiation spell.
Is that how they did it in Lost?
I mean, I don't think there were blink daggers on that island, but
No.
if they could have, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hey man, maybe Lost will give you some inspiration for winning some Dota games.
Yeah, pretty.
Think outside of the box.
It pretty much, dude. It is the inspiration. The show is called Lost. Like, what more inspiration does my team need from that?
Yeah. Oh man. Visage for LGD Gaming. So this is something which, I mean, even the old LGD used to pick all the time. And when they had the old support duo of DD and DDC, they were probably one of the teams that picked Visage more than anyone else. And, well, the new LGD going to continue that trend here.
The Earthshaker Visage. Remember? They used to do that like every single game.
Oh man.
Earthshaker Visage Windrunner, and then they would aggro tri-lane.
They weren't like the most... I mean, they had their definite like unique style that was at least somewhat inventive of their own, but they would just run it over and over again. Like, they would burn a strategy into the ground before they finally tried to do something new.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what makes LGD weak. Like, the player skill is clearly there, but it just seems like their strategies are a little bit behind the times.
Yeah. Do you think it still applies with this new LGD? I mean, because this LGD now, the only player who was on that old team is Yao. Like, do you think that's still the case, though?
I mean, Faith is an old school player. I assume they kind of just kowtow to his reasoning. It's like, well, whatever you want to do. But, I mean, the guy did win a TI, so he clearly knows what he's doing. But it just seems like maybe their player pool just hasn't adapted to the new metagame yet. Like, I mean, they just picked Ogre, which, good for them. That hero's great. But, I mean, they also followed it up again with an Invoker Visage.
Yeah, like, they start off, like, following the trends, and then, like, nope, we're going to put our own little spin onto it, maybe, but...
Yeah. I mean, you have to balance things, right? Whatever your team does well, you want to focus on doing as well. But the metagame, or the heroes that are strong for a reason, right? Because they win games.
I feel like that's part of the problem with LGD. They actually, like, as a caster and as a viewer, I actually have not really... Like, they've got so many star-studded players, like MMY, who played on the old DK team. You've got Sylar, who was on Vici Gaming, but... With all this talent, it's hard to tell what this roster actually does well. Like, when I look at this team, I don't think, okay, this is how they like to play, this is their playstyle, and this is how they win games. I look at them and just think, yeah, they've got a lot of talent, but they haven't really figured out how to use this talent yet.
Yeah, it seems like their style of play, when it works really well. But it seems like when they don't get their heroes that just instantly win the game for them, like half the games I watch from them, they just look lost. Oh, it came up again, but... Whew. Like, it just doesn't seem like they have a good grasp of what's going on. Like, when they picked that last game, it didn't look like they were thinking, like, too far into the future. Like, once the Slark pick came out, they were like, well, what do we do? They sent 3 heroes bottom for a brief period of time. And then they just kind of looked at black and they're like, well, we're not doing this. And then they went all the way top again. And it just looked like they were kind of confused at times.
Yeah. Well, did he grab themselves a Doom now? I feel like this game, like, they could have almost let the slack through if they were planning on picking, like, a hero like this Doom, but... we'll see. Weaver for Vici Gaming, and... Go ahead.
It's annoying now if you play Slark against Doom. Because if Slark just gets in Fog, Doom no longer disables passives if you don't have the Aghanims. So it's not as good as it used to be.
Okay, you can still heal up.
Yeah. You run into the fog and then the spell is completely useless.
I actually never considered that. That actually makes Slack a lot better against Doom than he used to be.
Yeah, because he has to get the Ags, and so if Doom just has Blink Dagger, it's not like the threat it used to be. Before, if you got Doomed as Slark, you're just dead. Like Dark Pacting even killed you faster, but now it's a lot easier.
I like the Necrophos ban coming out of Vici Gaming. That would have been a nice last pick to go with this offlane Doom and Invoke. Instead, it's going to be a last pick Razor, which is a bit of a valued last pick, something that's normally banned or picked up much earlier on in the pool. But does it fit the LGD draft? I guess is the bigger question.
It's pretty good here. It opens up a lot of options. They could aggressive Trilane with it, with Ogre and Visage. Visage especially is a hero that you don't want to play passively with.
I mean, I always think, like, I always see a draft from, like, some of these Chinese teams where I'm like, oh, they could offensive Trilane, but it never happened. These Chinese teams, like, refuse to offensive Trilane. They're so much more focused on using, like, the stacks and the pull camps and just securing the safe lane farm that very rarely do I see offensive Trilanes come out of these teams. Like, I guess the LGD team used to. We were talking about that Earthshaker Visage Windrunner lane, but most Chinese teams very reluctant to go for offensive Trilanes.
Yeah. I mean, it's completely risky, because if you lose your aggro tri-lane and there's some sort of safe lane that can deal with, or there's some sort of long lane that can deal with their safe lane here that they've chosen, then it's really risky. Like, for example, Vici Gaming picks up the Tidehunter. So if you're going to aggro tri-lane, what? You're going to put in July against, as a Doom against the Tidehunter? Like, I think Tide wins that really handily.
Yeah. I'd agree on that.
Yeah, the Tidehunter pick protects them from getting aggro tri-laned, as well as Tidehunter does pretty good against those support heroes.
Yeah, no, they not, especially level 1. The Visage is not that potent. I guess you can look to zone out the Tidehunter, but Ice one of those offlaners who really just puts as much pressure as possible on the enemy's supports, and he doesn't mind putting himself in harm's way and maybe dying once or twice if he can just keep the supports busy and protect the rest of the lanes as a result. So.
Yep. And yeah, it looks like they're just gonna go for the safe tri-lane.
Are you in the game? I've got the good old perfect world lag going on, I think.
No, dude, I'm in Asia, so it's great for me.
God damn it! All right, I'm in the game and I'm lagging. Yep, you betcha. That's no good. I'm gonna have to reconnect, I think. Yeah, this is completely frozen. But for those of you in Dota TV, apparently there was the recent patch maybe improved the Dota TV audio. It doesn't necessarily improve like what you're seeing now, which is when we get really bad connections, but let me know if the Dota TV audio is better than it used to be with the new patch. Valve were asking us and saying, look, have you got any feedback for us? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'll ask. So
Go you guys.
We didn't do anything. Valve did something. Whoa! The game's already underway. I disconnected and heroes were at fountain still. Like 10 seconds ago, all the heroes were at the fountains, and suddenly they've moved out.
You know, one game I casted with LD, I got one of the really bad Perfect World servers, and I couldn't see anything. Like, literally nothing. And I just casted an entire game like that. I just pretended like I knew what was going on. I was like, yeah, Spectre's a great late game hero.
Yeah. Especially if you're just the co-caster, so you can kind of, like, go off what the main caster is saying is happening, and then just offer some, like, generic insight.
LD's really helpful in that regard. Like, I was pretty much saying whatever just came into my mind. I was like... LD's like, so what do you think about Spectre's chances late game? I was like, they're fantastic, LD.
Casters are good at bullshitting. I can definitely agree with that. First-hand experience. Well, we'll introduce our teams quickly since we missed the start. LG, you're going to have Injalai on the offlane Doom. We've got Yao on the solo mid Invoker. He's going to have Help of Faith on the Yoga Magi. At the bottom lane, it will be MMY on the Visage and Syla playing the Razor down here. On the dice side, it'll be Ice on the offlane Tidehunter. Mid lane will be Super on the Brewmaster. FY playing the Witch Doctor. Fenrir on the Skywrath Mage. And then finally, Weaver being played by Black up top. So, bit of early. Once again, it's the safe lane trial lanes looking to zone out off lane as effectively as possible. In July, level 1 Maledict from FY. Whew, already down to half HP.
Okay, so every time I play a pub, I learn something new about the metagame. You know that? Like,
Okay.
I played the other day as a Timbersaw against a Witch Doctor, and I was like, oh, there's nothing he can do. And then he skilled Maledict, and I was like, this is what people need to do. They need to stop getting heal. Like, this just completely screws the offlane over. You
Okay.
can't survive against it. It's so much damage,
And
and
Cast
nobody
does
expects
nothing.
it
Like,
anymore.
why? What's Cast going to do at level 1? So
Yeah,
why not?
exactly.
All right. that worked wonders. Like FY, like definitely one of the players who can come up with some clever things. Although, as you said, some pub players apparently teaching you.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. I'm telling you, that's probably where he learned it. He's like, he offlaned and he's like, wow, that does a lot of damage.
And it was probably
I did not
versing
expect
like
that.
some really like kind of like 4K player or someone who's actually not that good who just happened to do it, and it just happened to be like ingenious.
Yeah,
But-
that's how you learn stuff.
Yep. Well, in July at top, he's devoured a Frost Armor creep, which is not going to help too much against the nukes of the Skywrath and the Witch Doctor. Meanwhile, bottom rune, 2-minute rune coming up, and Faith wants to make sure that Ice doesn't get his hands on this one, as they're doing a bit of a dance around this bottom rune. Ice body blocking will hopefully position himself on top of it, and Bounty rune goes to the Tidehunter. But Ice he's just getting right-clicked down. He has boots, so he should be fine here. That Ogre Magi base damage, and in July, it's the Maledict again.
What do you do against this? Like, he's got illusions
Oh,
and he's just
man.
chasing him down.
PPD,
How do you-
I saw
how do you stop
PPD in the
this?
chat. He needs to take some notes from this Witch Doctor play.
Dude, he was flaming my team. That's not cool, man.
What do you mean? He said he watched all your games.
Yeah, but he used the face,
Face.
the
Mid lane,
sarcastic face.
super. He's getting ganked up. That's a nice rotation from LGD, and I think this could be First Blood. Super needs some
Oh, he just got his
RNG.
bottle.
Woof. I think
Yeah,
he,
there's no
he
way
just
he
got
missed.
mana for that Soul Assumption. He was claritying up to get the mana for it, MMY, and barely gets the First Blood kill.
It's kind of the problem with Visage, is that you only get that one. You can only Soul Assumption or Grave Chill. Like, everything costs so much. Like,
Yeah.
Soul Assumption at level 1 costs 170 mana, and it does scale down gradually to 140.
Yeah.
But in the early game, you just need so many clarities just to be able to harass. It's like an
I miss the
inferior
old
Skywrath.
Visage. The old Visage
Yeah.
where like level 1 Soul Assumption was just so good. Even level 1 Grave Chill used to be 80 mana, I think. It was like 80 mana for Grave Chill and 150 for Soul Assumption. Those level 1 spells were so good.
Yeah, I feel like in some ways it's been nerfed a little bit too hard. Like, why would you take, in a lot of ways, like, obviously they serve different functions, but if you're just picking a hero to zone out, Skywrath is pretty much Visage but better.
Yeah. Oh, so much better. I guess Visage, I mean, Visage is more picked for like the familiars when you get them in play, especially if you have
Yeah,
like
exactly.
a Dro or the Lycan Visage, which LGD used yesterday, was really strong, but they're not. No one's getting their hands on Lycan anymore in these Chinese games.
Like, look how unafraid Ice is of MMY.
Yeah.
So that forces the Ogre over, and they have to have both supports rotate just to deal with the Tidehunter, and that's what Ice wants. Like, he doesn't want Super to get pressured at all. And if they go to gank mid, then Ice, like, he just picked up a level.
He's just
off
battling
that.
the two supports. Or actually, I think this one may be in over his head. They've
Yeah,
got a
he's
Soul
definitely
Assumption,
dead.
and yeah, they had the mana for the Grave Chill and Soul Assumption, which maybe I don't think ISI's quite realized. Maybe,
They don't have it anymore, though.
yeah.
You can just go down there and do the same thing.
Like, you die there, but because you can go back to lane and Visage has no mana, it's actually not the worst case scenario. Similar story with the Ogre. He's kind of low on mana. They do both have clarities at least, but like chewing through all their mana to get a kill, like Tide can now actually leech XP a little bit safer.
Yeah, and this Doom is actually getting a lot out of the lane, surprisingly. I figured the Witch Doctor and the Skywrath would do a better job of harassing him out, but I think he's also soaked XP from the bottom while they were pulling. And he is going to lose his tower, but this should open up some farm for him as well.
Yeah, it's at this point they didn't want to. The supports are so preoccupied because they need both of them to actually get these kills on Ice. And they'll go for another kill here. Phase boots on Sylar. I think Ice. Oh no, they've got nothing to stop the TP, and all right, they'll force the TP out anyways. So still a small victory for LGD, but they really wanted that kill.
Yeah, if MMY was in position for that, they could have gotten the kill. But still, they've done their job. They just sentryed the Ancients. Ice is still level 3. And the Doom is getting a little bit more than he is. And Doom obviously can catch up a lot better than the Tidehunter can, just because of the Devour mechanic. And there's actually no stacks anywhere for Ice to catch up on.
Yeah,
Where is he supposed to go at this point?
Yeah, the Dire supports have Yeah. We've got Skywrath sitting near mid, Witch Doctor just doing the pulls, so as a result, yeah, no neutral camp stacks, and he's going to make his way towards these Ancients now and probably, attempt to stack them unsuccessfully and then go check the rune, but that's not going to work.
He's going to just waste another minute, because he doesn't realize that they had sentryed it. And they did it quite late, but they were able to get it off, and he is going to secure the rune out, but still, only level 3, and I'm having a hard time seeing where he's going to be able to get levels here.
He did go for the Gush as well fairly early, so I guess his plan is to help out with some ganks, because picking up this Gush is not something we normally see from a Tidehunter. I think realizing he can't just go Leech XP in lane because he's so far behind and knows he's going to have to group up with his team.
Yeah, he held the skill point forever, and I think if the Ancient stack was there, he would have skilled it into Anchor Smash, but he realizes it wasn't, and he was like, okay, I can't even do Ancients here, what's the point?
Oh, super mid. In a lot of trouble. He's bottling up, he gets mana for his ultimate, he's going to just throw it right away. I think he got some good evasion RNG coming out of there, as Faith now going to get turned around on him. With the Maledict help, Faith will go down. Possibly a second kill here on the Doom. They'll drop him soon with the Boulder Toss, and Doom's not really got any way to run out of this one, as Skywrath Mage will keep throwing down those nukes. 2 kills going the way of Vici Gaming off the back of the Brewmaster split as, well, Yao's looking to chase. He's not getting anything out of this one. Yao.
I really think he should have continued to chase. There's no mana on anybody on Vici's side.
Yeah, he throws a Tornado now, which completely airballs.
Yeah, he definitely should have run up that hill. He had phase boots. He definitely could have picked up a kill or two there. Like, there was no mana on the Skywrath. He was quite low. The Witch Doctor just salved in front of him.
Bottom lane, they went for a dive on Ice Ice Ice, who survived, so that gets him up to level 4, and Silent looks like he took quite a bit of damage, so that was a good sequence of play for Vici Gaming. The 2 kills in mid, and Ice 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 managing to avoid getting killed at bottom lane, although I say that now. Here comes Mr. Ogre McGee.
Yeah, the lane isn't pushed up enough, though, and I think Ice 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 just...
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's being greedy. He's like, well, this is the first time in the game I'm actually getting XP. That was even bigger than what happened mid, is that he's finally going to get his level 6, like, relatively soon. And they know he's actually going to wrap around here, and it looks like Vici are ready for this.
Ice 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 going to go down to start things off here. Well, Vici are ready for it, but they're only maybe going to get Faith on this one. They'd love a kill to Sile. The cast will find him as Black shows up as well. The bouncing cast! Oh, man. That was brutal.
There were like 4 creeps there too, and it pieced past it. Oh, that was so unlucky, but both of them get caught out by that, and just a little bit too big of an overcommitment for that Tidehunter. And that's Ice Ice Ice's job every single game. Like, he might die a lot in the lane, but he forces way too much overcommitment. And he always seems to be able to catch up.
That was just an insane move to go, like, from behind when Ice... They didn't even have a... Like you said, they didn't have a creep wave. So Vici Gaming just punished that so easily. That was way too aggressive from LGD.
And it wasn't like they had the best heroes to run away, and Sylar was actually quite low on the Razor as well, and he didn't have his mech up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If he has the mech or if he's full HP, it's maybe a different story, but a half HP Razor with no mech? Ooh, that's dicey. As in July now, smoked up with Faith. They've got Doom online, so thinking that they should be able to get a kill off of this. There is Ice 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 at top who's about to hit level 6 on the Tide, but I don't know if he's really the ideal target, even if he is just sitting up there looking to get his level 6.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the point of killing the Tidehunter? He's gonna get a 6, he's not that leveled. You're not really preventing him too much.
Doom is still available. Yep, they're gonna get to throw it. Super. He lost all his mana from the EMP anyways. There's a pretty straightforward kill for LGD, but they had to throw a lot of spells to get it.
Yeah, and once you've used the Doom, the Weaver is nothing to be afraid of, so you can come into these fights really easily now.
Yeah. Weaver Black once more going for that Midas build. He's 2-0-1 after that rotation down bottom where he helped his team out to get 3 kills.
Yeah, and Black's absolutely huge after getting that double kill at bottom. At 10 minutes in, he's got an Aquila, a Wand, Treads, and a Midas already.
He's 2k ahead of the Razor on net worth almost. See TP's coming in. They get the tier 1 tower, but now they need to focus on getting out of here. Super TP's in for an EMP. Oh. Sylar's... Yeah, I was about to say, Sylar, man, you're kind of on your own up here.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to get that by himself. And LGD rotate 5 heroes. They do manage to take the tower, but it does open up a lot of farm. Black had just been farming that entire time. Ice Ice Ice, he did have his level 6, and he did have a TP. Opted not to go there, because this is finally time for him to get farm. Yeah,
I feel like the trade... I feel almost like Vici Gaming got more out of that than LGD did, despite the fact LGD got a tower.
Yeah. I mean, what else... It was more LGD had nothing better to do at the time.
They're in a bit of a rough spot here. They have got level 6 on the Visage now, so familiars do come into play, but We'll have to see what they can do when they have this next Doom up, because I feel they need to make another play. Try and find the Brewmaster and then win a fight off of killing Brewmaster, maybe with the Doom once more. And maybe get themselves some more Tier 1 towers. They just need to keep riding this bit of momentum that they've got, although it's really not much right now. Just a single kill on the Brewmaster made in a Tier 1 tower, while Vici Gaming get good farm elsewhere on the map.
And at bottom, they managed to find out Yao.
Yeah, he'll be okay. He's pretty fast with the 3 Wexes. He does go over to the Quasi. Observer Ward behind the tower, so Vici Gaming see everything down here.
Yeah, and black. The target was black, but that felt a little bit too optimistic. And Vici still rotates down just in case, and they're able to waste just a little bit more time. And now they know there's at least 2 or 3 heroes down here, and they can just back off.
They may kill Sylar top. Brewmaster's here with a split, and there's also a Ravage. I think they're gonna Ravage. Yeah, they had to use it to get the kill. Well worth it, I'd say.
FY is so greedy. He could have cast, and they could have like stopped it, but he went for the ult instead.
Oh. I think that's probably why Ice looked to hesitate before he ravaged there.
Yeah, he's like, do you have stun? I think he was waiting for it to come forward, and he's like, oh, you can't actually stop. You don't have any mana.
Yeah. Bottom lane, they'll find Fenrir now. A kill under the tower for LGD. Knowing there's no Ravage. There is a Brewmaster split. Actually, Brewmaster low on mana, so no TP available. Buys the Blink Dagger, and well, he's maybe not going to be able to defend this bottom lane. So the Rays are a pretty big kill, but I think LGD are going to be pretty happy with finding a kill and a Tier 1 tower over a bottom lane.
Yeah, but still no kill on Black, who's the big target this game. I guess Doom still does a pretty good job against Weaver.
Yeah.
So it's not too big of a concern yet. And they've done a pretty good job of shutting down Super. Like, they've killed him, and they haven't really let him use his ult to full effect yet. But he still has his Blink Dagger at a really reasonable time.
Yeah. Doom's meant to pick up a Midas. I saw him holding onto a big chunk of gold with his brown boots, and I was wondering, is it a Blink or something? I think Midas definitely the right way to go here for Injuly, because this game is potentially going to drag on, and he needs like the big items to, I mean, Doom the Tide Hunter in the late game, get an Ag Scepter, even a Refresher this game, with so many good Doom targets, from the Brewmaster to the Tide to the Weaver.
Yeah, he has to get huge, because Sylar doesn't really have the farm necessary to keep up with Black, so they need another core to get huge.
I think Injuly's on track to get there. Like, right now he's number 5 in the net worth, but you have your Midas and Max Devour now, that's going to change in like 5-10 minutes time. Well, maybe not 5 minutes time, but wait till we're about 30 minutes in, and Doom will be in the top 2 to 3 probably.
Yeah, and actually, LGD have all smoked up. They haven't brought Sylar on with this. Maybe hoping to just get 1 or 2 pickoffs and show Sylar on the map, so they think that they're behind him.
Yeah, and I think it's going to work here. It's just to support Scarith they find, so not the biggest of kills. Still a kill nonetheless. Scarith does drop the ultimate, and here comes the counter engage from FY. He's got the cask off and the ultimate as well. Faith as well as Injuly getting trapped by this one. Brewmaster gets off the split further to the south here, and it looks like he wants to bring down Yao. Has cycloned up the Visage, not going to chase Yao, goes for the Visage instead. As LGD have lost 2, and it's about to become 3. MMY gets caught out, so... for Vici Gaming... The problem was there, I guess they just found the Skywrath Mage. They really needed to find like the Brewmaster and get a Doom off on him to start the fight off. Otherwise, they just straight up lose the fight.
Yeah, and FY just had like the dirtiest cask ult combo.
Yeah.
And they weren't able to engage back into it. At that point, you can't really expend any more just trying to stop the Witch Doctor from coming in. And you're not going to doom the Skywrath, but the Skywrath pretty much did what he was supposed to. He got his ultimate off, he threw the conch shot, and he bought just enough time for the rest of the team to rotate over, and it's just kind of unlucky that they found the Skywrath instead of anybody else, like you said.
Find FY at the bottom lane. He's dodging everything, though.
Oh no.
Doom on the Super. Super's still very full on HP. I don't think he's going down. Nice Ravage from Ice. The cast still bouncing around as well. Vici Gaming going to look to disengage. And with the help of the cast, I think they should be able to do so. Super's Doom is about to wear off with his earn damage as well as Ignite, getting him pretty low here, but he'll survive.
Yeah, what a weird team fight. Both Doom and Ravage are used, but nobody died on either side.
Yeah, to me, I'd also look at FY somehow staying alive as well. When like Tornado missed, everything missed on him. There's going to be another re-engage here. FY's no cast for the time being. This gets a kill in the Tide. And this Death Ward, it's continued to do work. FY!
Just kill him, Sylar!
Oh, finally it goes down. The Soul Assumption is there, and LGD get a 2-for-1 in their favor. Possibly chasing, looking for more. Super's very low on that Brewmaster, but has a blink out, and the entire time, where's Black? Black's farming, of course.
He's almost got the Lincolns now, too. Like, he's gotten huge off of this. Sylar has had to come to every single fight, and he's watched his teammates die time after time, but Vici Gaming, like, even though if they trade a little bit inefficiently, it's okay because black's going to make up the difference in spades.
It feels like it's the exact same story as last game in some ways. Like, black spends a bit more time than Sylar farming. Sylar joins the team fights because LGD are behind and he feels he has to, and then sure, LGD maybe get an okay-ish trade in terms of these fights, but because black's farming, once black does decide to show up, fights are not going to look good for LGD.
Yeah, Vici will gladly trade 2 for 1 there to get black pretty much 4 or 5 minutes of uncontested farm straight.
Do you feel he can do what he did with the Slark on a Weaver, though? I mean, Weaver not really as snowbally, though.
You have to be a lot more careful with Weaver because he doesn't put out the damage without items like Slark does. Like, Slark just gets treads and a blink dagger, and he can kill pretty much anybody on the map. But black has to get the defensive item first, especially against the Doom. So he has to pick up the Lincolns, and then he has to transition into one more aggressive item, something like a Deso, Manta, or a BKB.
Yep.
Like, it takes 2 or 3 items to get going on a Weaver, and they're expensive ones too.
Yeah, he'll have to farm longer, but he's so far ahead of everyone on farm. He's 9.4k net worth. Next highest is 6.5 on the Razor, as our Witch Doctor will get found at the mid lane. It seems LGD just keep finding like support kills here or there. Like they run into the Skywrath, kill him. They run into the Witch Doctor there, kill him. But they need some more like high priority kills, which they found earlier on the Brew, but not for some time.
Yeah, when you represent 5 heroes on the map, just killing 1 hero, it's not too bad, especially if it's the Skywrath or the Witch Doctor, because you're committing information as well. That's the biggest thing. You're showing black exactly where your entire team is, and it makes it so that it frees up the map just because he knows to avoid where you are. Like, if he sees 5 heroes just commit for a Skywrath, he's like, okay, well, I'm good. I can just go to this bottom lane and pressure this instead.
Yeah. He sees the 5 man. He's going to get tier 1 tower out of this. Actually goes to the Tide Hunter, so Ice has enough money for his Blink Dagger in the second here, and it looks like, yeah, black's going to leave him at least some of this farm here at the bottom lane, so there's the Blink money. Blink Dagger on Tide as well as Brewmaster now. This is going to be pretty scary for LGD. Like, they're so 5-man focused, but now this 5-man's going to get crippled by a Blink Ravage or a Blink Primal Split engagement.
The good news, though, for LGD is that Vici Gaming doesn't have too much damage. Like, they're really relying on FY getting the huge ult off.
Yeah.
Like, they got a 5-man Ravage off at bottom, and they still weren't able to kill anybody in that first engage. Because FY he got his ult stopped immediately by dying by Sylar.
Okay, top lane, they're going to look to go in FY once again. It's a support kill, but maybe thinking, okay, multiple TPs come in. They're not even going to look to hang around. I think Faith is going to be left to die here. Blink Ravage only on 1. Ice thought he was going to find more out of that one, and it looks like a questionable Ravage, but I think he legitimately thought that was going to catch 2 or 3, but LGD were already on full retreat.
Yeah, they split up on the map, which was a good move by LGD, but still, they committed so many heroes. Like, it just looks a lot of the times like they're lost. Like, they have 4 heroes up here, and they're not even trying to contest black. Like, they realize, okay, we're not going to kill him, but at the same time, they have 5 heroes up there. They have to at least get something out of it.
Look at a support kill this time around. This time around, no TPs. And just a much better gank in general. I think that when they commit 5 heroes, it's too obvious. When it's like 2 or 3 heroes, or in that case, it was just Yao with like a Cold Snap and the familiar support, it's much less obvious of a gank.
Yeah, but meanwhile, black has finally picked up his Lincolns. This is a huge item pickup for him. At 19 minutes, you've got the Lincolns, the Aquila, and the Handomitis. Like, that's fantastic timing. And now Sylar, he can't zone out black out of this lane, and it means that at least 2 or 3 heroes have to come just to kill black.
And with the Lincolns, like, you've got to use something to actually break the Lincolns first before you can try and doom it. The lockdown, not the... It's probably they've got enough with some detection here. Like, they can use Tornado to keep him in place, they can use the Ogre stuns, but it's not going to be easy.
Just the initiation, though. Ooh. It's not very good.
Yeah, I'm going to be brought down here. Again, these ultimates thrown by Vici Gaming unnecessarily, but...
I mean, they're fine with it, though. Like,
yeah.
If they're able to stop the push, and the rest of their team isn't dying, and it only takes 1 or 2 ults expended to keep them at bay, then that's a good trade. And Doom isn't actually going Blink Dagger Gods. Like, he's opted to get the Ogre Club first.
Straight BKB.
And I think in some ways that's a mistake because they need something to deal with black. Like, just because, you know, you haven't seen him on the map, it's one of those things like, oh, la la la, like, I don't see you. It's whatever, but eventually he is going to come into play.
Well, he's found Sylar. Sylar's got mech, so it looks like they're not going to see too much more of that. Ice is doomed up, and I think Vici Gaming weren't ready for so many heroes to just show up around that point of the map. As further to the south, Visage getting caught out, and we'll see Weaver, I think, find Black's first, well, real involvement of the game here in this team fight. Lincoln coming in from Super. He's got no ultimate because of that ulti at top lane, and that could hurt him. He gets burst down, and now the Vici gets traded, but the big kill is the one on the Brewmaster. Black can be forced back as well, so LGD, some 5-man Dota paying off for once.
Sylar is so fast.
Yeah.
Like, he stole so much damage from Black right there. But a decent trade-off for LGD. The Doom was expended on the Tidehunter. But honestly, it feels like he doesn't even care that he got doomed. He's like, well, Black's going to continue to farm and do his own thing.
Yeah. And Black, at least, I guess he was somewhat involved in that fight, getting the one kill, but end of the day, he can just easily go back, fall back into that farming routine and keep going towards that first damage item you spoke of.
Yeah, and there's actually almost an Orchid up on Yao. It's a little bit late, and he's going to be a little bit under-farmed. And because he doesn't have any defensive items, that Tide Ravage is going to mess him up.
I mean, I don't mean to fire shots at Yao, but it always feels like his core items just come up like a few minutes later than like he should be getting them, and his impact, he focuses too much on like trying to roam and gank and help his team, and he often just doesn't really accomplish much.
Yeah, I mean, Super's done the same thing, and he got ganked, if we remember correctly, twice mid, right?
Yeah.
And they applied a lot of pressure, but he still has a lot more impact and more farm than Yao has had this game. Like, Yao's been relatively untouched, but the Orchid still comes pretty late. Like, a 22-minute Orchid in mid, I think that's like more of a 15 or 16-minute item, especially if you're not going to get any supplementary items like drums to go with it.
I mean, he got like poked around a bit by the Skywrath at level 1, but after that he was left completely alone. It was Brewmaster who got continuously ganked, so... Well, we'll see what Vici Gaming can do about this. This is, as you said, a very late Orchid, and it's just kind of at this time where I don't think the Orchid's going to quite have the impact that you want it to have.
Yeah, especially because now at this point in the game, if you get it maybe at like the 14 or 15-minute mark, you can go around the map and pick off heroes that are trying to catch up and farm. But once you hit this 22-minute mark where everybody already has the core items that they really need, for example, Ice 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 picking up his Blink Dagger, or the Witch Doctor or the Skywrath picking up like one small item, like they're just going to 5-man at this point. So the Orchid's effectiveness runs out.
And Brewmaster, I mean, he doesn't have his BKB yet, but he's about halfway there, so... I mean, he's kind of the key Orchid target in these fights. And to get to this stage, LGD are just going to look to trade towers with Vici Gaming, and I feel like for the most part, Vici Gaming are getting close to some of these big items. The first damage item on Black, the BKB on the Brewmaster, that they don't really mind trading these towers, because fighting into the Doom who just picked up a BKB, the Orchid Invoker, LGD right now are looking to take fights. They've got 2 BKBs, Sylar also has his, so this is not really an ideal time for Vici Gaming to take a fight.
Yeah, Black almost has his Dessa, by the way, so about 3 or 4 minutes after the fact that he picks up his Lincolns, he's going to get a Desolator as well. Just heavily out-farming Sylar at this point, and Sylar's had to build relatively defensive this game. He's actually kept up in last hits and denies quite well, though, all things considered.
Yeah.
Black's been farming non-stop, but Sylar's only about 20 behind.
Yeah,
it's really impressive.
The net worth is quite a difference, but I think a lot of that may be some of the tower gold that Black's been picking up, and also the fact Sylar died twice, but yeah, I'm actually quite surprised by how well Sylar's done. He was looking really bad. Like, early on, it was like 9k net worth to 5k net worth, but since then, Sylar's kept up, and also been involved in pushing and grouping up with his team. But it's not all over for LGD. This game feels a lot closer than last game.
Oh, well, definitely. The last game, Black pretty much got to sit between tier 2 towers and dared people to come at him.
Yeah.
And this game, he has to play a lot more carefully because LGD does have the type of draft that can punish him. And Yao's running around in Ghost Walk. He is looking for somebody to kill. I think he might have seen Black pass through for the Roshan. They are pinging around. And they actually know that Ice 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 is there.
He's actually going to go for Ice 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 here. The Orchid will come out to start things off, but that's going to get Krakened off soon. Ooh, actually, no mana for Ice Ice Ice. Has 7 1-charges, so could go for a Ravage with these 1-charges. Ice Ice Ice, here we go. Doesn't get the mana he needs, only down to about 100 mana. It will be a kill on the Tide to start things off. The Doom was used on Super as well. No Primal Split available in July. We'll take some return kill as Black. Oh, he got stunned up. The Familiars were there, and FY gets it cancelled. Tide ball back for this Ravage, and that's going to catch up on 3 perfectly. The Primal Split is there as well. Now as Brewmaster makes a reappearance as well. Faith going to go down. LGD full retreat now as MMY runs north. Will TP out. Nice bit of juking coming out from him, and LGD I think going to be pretty pleased from that one. They forced out 2 buybacks and also got a 2-for-3 trade in their favor.
Yeah,
really
that was
good
fantastic.
Fight.
I think the issue though is that they're going to give up the Roshan here.
Yeah.
But Super did that thing we talked about. You can't get the clap off.
Oh, did he went for the clap before the split? Oh,
That
man.
split second where I think he could have, instead of blinked in, he could have just ulted and
Yeah.
been really safe. But he blinked right next to the Doom, and I think he was going for the clap. Like, there was plenty of time, though, for the Doom to get the Doom off on the Panda.
And even if you go for the blink ulti without the clap, sometimes you won't get
He
the
was in
ulti
position to just ult and walk in, honestly.
off. Yeah. Well, I think it's still okay for LGD. Like, end of the day, they force out those buybacks. Like, Vici Gaming are going to secure Roshan off of that, and which it is going to give them a lot of free space now that they've got Aegis on black, but I think overall it's still a decent, at least a small victory for LGD as far as that last fight's concerned. They can sit back and turtle wait out the Aegis to some extent. Vici Gaming likely to get at least, well, they're going to get the tier 1 mid tower and possibly either a tier 2 bottom or a tier 2 mid with this Aegis, but they can just kind of stem the bleeding. It's not going to look too ugly for them.
Yeah, and LGD, they fought on that side of the map, and the Tide, or was it the Tide Hunter that fought back? Did he
Tide
as well
and
with
Brewmaster,
Super? Yeah, Tide and
both
Brew,
heroes.
so it's not too bad. What you're essentially giving away is the buybacks for the Aegis,
Yeah.
which I guess in Vici's case they'll take
Yeah.
for
I feel like
extra security on black.
it does feel like Vici Gaming will take that trade, and for LGD they'll also kind of take that trade with the position they're in. Like LGD can just, they're going to sit back. I feel like Doom can really get a lot scarier. If he gets a Shiver's Guard or a Fresher up, still not going for a Blink Dagger though, which is maybe a bit surprising. LGD's late game can match up against Vici Gaming. Weaver is not a hero that can just solo carry games on its own.
That's what Doom does, though, is that he pretty much locks down whatever, however much farm you have in the game. It doesn't really matter if you just get doomed up.
You can see Black doing what he did last game with the Slark now that he has this Aegis, just positioning himself so offensively.
And the rest of Vici are smoked up behind him, though.
Yeah, they've got their ultis, so after using the buybacks, getting the Aegis, they're like, look, let's push these towers, take a fight. And for LGD, there's not really much incentive to try and defend this tier 2 tower, I feel. Like, they've got, I mean, I guess they've got the double BKBs and can try and use that to fight, but... Oh, that's a good Blink Ravage. Catches a lot. There will be a BKB coming out from the Doom, but the ultis have already been cast, so who do you Doom at this point in the high ground Death Ward? Coming in from FY, they lose the Razor instantly. MMY thrown up in there, gets Boulder Toss. Right-click down. Nice Tornado will help protect him for a little bit longer as the Chaos Meteor goes flying through as well, but that's 2 dead already. Great engagement coming in from Vici Gaming. They just pounced with their ultimates before Doom could doom anyone. Buyback forced out by the Razor. Black underneath the tower. I think he's going to survive. 15 HP. One last tower hit will bring him down. Sylar now wants Ice Ice Ice. Gets a static link off, and Sylar forced to BKB. Has the familiar support. Familiar's actually taking a bit of damage here as Ice 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 will be the first one to go down. 196 stolen damage. Sylar could look to keep on fighting. Actually surprised he's backing off here. FY looks pretty juicy here with all this bonus damage. Of Doom now coming out onto Black. Black's got no Aegis, but there's just no follow-up damage. They can't actually kill him off here. Sylar's taking hefty bursts from both Weaver as well as Scarith, and Black, even doomed up, kept on fighting. 5 heroes on the sidelines, and at least one of them was a dieback. I think, okay, not 2. Doom actually just died once, but Razor died twice in that fight.
Yeah, he got a lot of damage off on that fight, but Vici Gaming's kite potential was just a lot stronger. The Ravage was huge by Ice Ice Ice. He was alive in that fight forever. And the Aegis, I mean, if the Aegis hadn't been there, I think that fight would have gone in LGD's favor, but as it stands, Black just picked up so much farm from that kill.
Yeah. Super. Gonna maybe pay the price here as they do bring down the T2 tower. Small victory going LGD's way after Vici game. They gained something like a 5k from that previous team fight. Witch Doctor will get a kill on the Ogre thanks to the Maledict, and Vici Gaming can back off and come back with a fresh new Aghanim Scepter on FY. Imagine that previous fight with a level 16 Witch Doctor with Aghanim Scepter. All he needs is another 1,000 experience points, and we're more or less there.
He's so farmed right now. He's 6-3 and 13. He's picked up his Aghanims. He's almost level 16. That's more levels than the Tide Hunter. And he's actually a little bit of experience ahead of the Brewmaster now, too, since he lived throughout that fight. Right now, LGD, they don't have too many disables, right? They've got the... I guess they have a decent amount, but it's hard to find everybody on Vici if they spread out, and you're not gonna. You pretty much have to go for FY though and stop his Death Ward.
Yeah.
Like
the familiars which were used in the previous team fight around the Dire Secret shop, that worked out really well, and that's what almost has to happen. If you can split the familiars, get some of that like StarCraft 2 micro and divide the familiars up, have one chase around the Witch Doctor and the other 2 like in the main fight, that would be ideal, but that's some tough micro.
That's actually a really good counter though. especially against the Witch Doctor. But
Yeah.
if the Witch Doctor gets his ult off, like the Death Ward for even 2 or 3 seconds, like it's been well worth it.
Nah, it's with the Ag Scepter especially, it's just going to do so much damage even in that 2 or 3 seconds. So
Ice finally farming up that huge Ancient stack as well, and LGD are all smoked up behind this tier 2.
Vici have ultis, so you've got to get the Doom off on either the Brewmaster or the Tidehunter, I feel, to start the fight. Problem is, Doom still does not have a Blink Dagger, and it doesn't seem to be intending to go for one.
Yeah, what he's done a really good job of right now is he waits for Super to blink in, and he tries to stand relatively close by so he can get the Doom off before the split comes.
Yeah. That's with the last fight, the leading with the Ravage. Brewmaster blinked in like with the Ravage, and as a result, the Ravage just created enough space for Brewmaster to get the ulti off guaranteed. And well, for Vici Gaming, I think just intend to sit back and make sure they're the ones engaging, not getting engaged upon.
Yeah, it's really difficult for LGD to engage without that smoke, since they don't have the Blink Dagger on the Doom still. And I don't think he's actually going to go for one at all.
Yeah, I may be saving for one now, but the plate mail suggests it's just going to be go into that Shiver's Guard.
Well, I mean, he could have just gone the plate mail because the Weaver rips through him, even with BKB. So he's like, well, I need something defensive.
He may be looking at how these, like, they were just sitting around that mid lane and unable to really engage. He may just look at that and think, okay, I kind of need a blink. We'll see in just a second anyways what he's going to do. But Yao's working on a BKB of his own. He's got 1700 gold with an Ogre Club, so about 1300 away. And Sylar, he's gone top. He picked up a point booster, but actually went back for a plate mail. So I think recognizing the fact he needs some bonus armor to deal with Black. Black now has a Daedalus to go with this death, so his right-click damage is pretty painful. We'll see here.
Sylar.
Oh god, he may just get solo killed. He didn't TP. He didn't have a TP, so Black not going to chase. He decides play it smart, don't get doomed and killed, and we'll just back off.
Dude, that plate mail saved his life.
I would agree. I think without it there, he's just straight up dead.
Yeah, and I think he realizes, what's the point of going Aghanims if I'm just going to die?
Yeah.
Before I can even get the damage off, but Vici are just slow rolling this game. They're pretty much just waiting for Black to get 6 slotted, and at that point there's not much that can be done up against it. And Ice will only get bigger at this point. He's almost picked up his Refresh Orb as well. He's got the Perseverance. I think I saw an Oblivion Staff. Maybe not.
No, nothing on the Courier. But he had to buy back in that one fight, but still, I mean, even just getting the Refresh Orb in like around the 40-minute mark is going to be pretty potent. So Vici Gaming smoked up. Here's going to be a Blink Ravage onto 2, but it's too important here as the Razor goes down before he can even use his BKB. Deathward used somewhat unnecessarily. The Primal Split also used. A bit of an overkill coming in. Black will get doomed up here. Nice. Bit of Lincoln's breaking coming in, but there's no follow-up damage. Black just turns and fights. When you're doomed and you're still fighting, you know that's a bad sign if you're LGD. LGD trying to maybe bring him down with some nice chain familiar stuns, but still there's no follow-up. LGD are on the back foot and they just cannot deal with this Weaver, even when he is doomed. Faith on the high ground will be brought down by a Maledict Arcane Bolt, and it's looking like it's maybe all over for LGD here in game number 2.
Yeah, there just wasn't enough follow-up on Black, and they didn't have any sort... Like, with the Doom, they should have had some sort of way to initiate the fight, but... I mean, he did go the Blink Dagger, but still, there wasn't enough follow-up damage to go on him. Like, he got the Doom off, which was fantastic, but then Super had split.
And Razor was dead. That was the big problem. If Razor's the one who has all that movement speed, we saw earlier how mobile he can be. If he's alive, he can finish off that Weaver most likely, but he just gets burst down to start the fight, and that's like your only hero who can kill a Doom Weaver. I don't know. Rough stuff like, for LGD.
What are you gonna do there? Because Sylar doesn't have he didn't really have vision there, so he can't just preemptively BKB. Ice caught him at the edge. Like, that was the perfect team fight for Vici. Like, Sylar was split off from the rest of his team. FY threw down that clowny Death Ward, but it kind of worked in a lot of ways because it zoned them out, so they couldn't help him.
Yeah. Just protect the Doom Weaver. Like, Weaver's sitting there attacking, but he has the Death Ward protecting him, so... Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyways, that does it. 2-0 Vici Gaming. Haven't seen them play any official matches in some time, but they're still looking pretty damn strong after winning ESL 1 earlier this year, so this is a good sign for them if they want to qualify for the Summit. Ice, FY, Fenrir were at the last Summit, so is Super, so one of the team who got 3rd place our last tournament looking to maybe do one better here at the Summit too, so big thanks for joining me, Blitz.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's fun casting with you. Can shoot the shit a bit and just have a bit of fun.
Yeah. We always have a good time, man.
Alright, well you guys can support Blitz. Follow him on Twitter at Blitz_Dota. Not Blitz Dota.
You remembered the underscore.
Yeah. Not that Russian wannabe.
Yeah, that guy gets really angry whenever I ask for that account.
Well, we're going to have a bit of a break. The next best of 3 coming up, I think it's in like 2 hours time maybe. It's scheduled to start, I think 1 hour 45 minutes sounds a bit more accurate. Yeah, 1 hour 45 minutes, C-Deck versus Newbie. Blitz will be playing some matches. I think you're taking on Winter's team over in the Summit 2, so you can check out Blitz playing over on BTS 2. He's going to be in the Summit SEA. But guys, we'll see you all in a bit. Head on over to BTS 2. There's Summit SEA action going down. Helium Umbrella's casting over there. And yeah, that does it. You can follow me at BTS Gods, and we'll be back in a bit.